beautiful Force M.Ds. Starting off with you.
My name is Mercury and my zodiac sign is Sagittarius.
Yes, my name is Trisco and my zodiac sign is Scorpio.
Hello, I'm Stevie D, zodiac sign Sagittarius.
Your name?
My name is TCD, zodiac sign Aquarius.
What we did was we just combined it both groups together and changed the name to the Force M.Ds. You know, that puts the R&B and the hip hop in the mix, and that's the sound that all these groups, Jodeci's and Boyz II Men, all take after us as being one of the pioneers of the sound.
This group has old school hip hop roots. Although this group is not as well known as other New York groups from the early 80s, this Staten Island group was a pivotal figure in the early days of street hip hop. And they were among the first vocal groups to combine doo-wop influenced harmonies with hip hop beats. This group are also considered the major forerunners of the New Jack Swing movement. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Force M.Ds. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. This story begins with members DJ Dr. Rock, born Roger Daniels on September 12, 1962. Stevie D. Lundy, born on May 8, 1962. Antoine Maurice Lundy was born on February 3, 1963. And Rodney Kalu Lundy, October 23, 1964. Their uncle, Jesse Lee Daniels, born on July 4, 1963. Trisco Smith Pearson was born October 23, 1962. And Charles Mercury Nelson was born on December 19, 1964. They were all from the Mariners Harbor Housing Project on Staten Island, and early in their careers they were known for performing doo-wop and hip-hop square. Their group began as the L.D.s, then collaborated with Dr. Rock. Both groups combined into one group and was the pioneers in forming R&B beats mixed with hip-hop beats, which gave birth to the sound of the New Jack Swing in 1981.
How long have you all been together as a group performing?
Well, we've been together approximately 7 years. We've been singing professionally 3 years, and the Force M.Ds is on the rise.
And who would you say were your musical influences?
Like Jackson 5, Temptations, Persuasion, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, a lot of like doo-wop groups, and young groups in the days really inspires. And James Brown's one of our biggest inspirers too.
Do you think that you're compared at all to the Shy Lights or maybe the Stylistics or Blue Magic?
Yeah, people say that, but we got kind of like the 88 version of all that now. We put in our own type of style. A lot of those groups back there did influence us into our sound a little bit, but we're doing it our way now.
And how did you all get together to go about getting a record deal? Is it something that just happened? Were you performing on the club circuit?
We was performing out in the streets and on the Staten Island Ferry, and this disc jockey from a radio station in New York seen us and said, "Hey man, these guys are good." And he introduced us to Tom Silverman of Time Boy Records, and we did an audition for him, and we did the whole boat act, the Staten Island Ferry boat act to him, and he liked it, and he signed us up right from there.
Okay. But take us back real quick, how the Force MC started, who started it, and take us back real quick.
Stevie D. All right, well, check it out. It was two groups at one time. It's called the Fantastic L.D.s. That consists of me, Khalil, TC, and Jesse. And the Force MCs, which consists of me and Mercury and DJ Dr. Rock and K1. And what we did was we just combined it both groups together and changed the name to the Force M.Ds. That puts the R&B and the hip hop in the mix, and that's the sound that all these groups, Jodeci's and Boyz II Men, all take after us as being one of the pioneers of the sound.
And what year was that, man? What year was that?
That was 82, 83, 82, 83, like that.
In 1984, the group caught the attention of Tommy Boy Records, who issued the album Love Letters, which contained the songs Let Me Love You, and Forgive Me Girl, both of which reached at number 49 on the Billboard R&B chart and number 93 in the UK.
I kind of figured what you had in store, but you didn't.
Their single, Tears, peaked at number 5 on the R&B chart.
When I lay my head down to...
The album Love Letters also spawned the 1985 hit singles, Itchin' for a Scratch, which reached at number 13 on the R&B chart. And Tender Love, which peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Number 4 on the R&B chart. It also peaked at number 23 on the UK chart and became their biggest success, selling over 500,000 copies. The group's first R&B #1 song, Love is a House, was published on the album Touch and Go in 1987. And around this time, the group only had 4 members, with Jesse leaving the group. During my research, I found that he would have outbursts against group members and was dealing with a bunch of problems. Plus, he wanted to go solo and be looked at in the same light as Bobby Brown, but the label thought otherwise.
Looking at that Tender Love video, there were 5 of you, if I'm not mistaken. What happened to the other member?
Well, the 5th member went solo. He went out on his own now, and he's trying to embark a solo career. And we wish him the best of luck, you know, because he's still a brother of the Force M.Ds. And wherever you are, keep on doing it, Jess. You know it.
In 1990, the group released Step to Me. The outstanding songs here were Are You Really Real?, which peaked at number 23 on the R&B charts. Saying Somebody's Crying that peaked at number 32.
You and I always work things out. But can't you see?
Your Love Drives Me Crazy from their 1992 album.
'Cause your love drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. And
For Lovers and Others peaked at number 78 on the R&B chart. The group later signed with Etcheban Records, where they published Moments in Time in 1994. The album did not sell well, and its lone notable single was And Last to Know, which reached number 113 on a R&B chart in 1995.
should have known. I should have known when you were in.
On March 9th, 1995, Charles Mercury Nelson passed away after a heart attack in New York City at the age of 31. Roger DJ Dr. Rock Daniels passed away of natural causes on August 13th, 1996 at the age of 34, and Antoine Lundy passed away of symptoms from Lou Gehrig's disease on January 21st, 1998 in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania at the age of 35.
TC passed on. Can you tell people how he passed on?
Yes, TC passed on from Lou Gehrig's disease. All right, it's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and you know another
ALS.
Yeah, it's called this. It's ALS. It means like the baseball player, the famous baseball player Lou Gehrig. It's a disease that it goes to the neural disease in the brain, and it doesn't.
It stops to sending signals. Your nerves.
It stops sending signals to your nerves, and you get paralyzed, and it paralyzes your whole body. We thought at this time, you know, that it only happens like older people, older, you know. But it just caught him, man. Caught our brother, man. TC is me and Khalil's older brother. Me and TC were born the same. He's like 10 and a half months older.
Well, you know, let me just say, TC had called me and said, he said, "Yo, man, I was holding some food in my hand and it just dropped out of my hand." And you know, he's a joker, so we joke and he laughed. This food, I seen the pancake slow motion hitting the ground, so we laugh and whatnot. Then like a couple of months later, he said, "Yo, I fell down the steps." I said, "Yo, this shit is for real." I said, "Yo, this is for real, B." So me and my father went over there and we brought him to the hospital, and he took, you know, tests and stuff, and they said, "Oh, I think he may have Lyme," because you know, I mean, the Poconos and you know, a lot of ticks and stuff like that. Yeah. So we thought it might have been Lyme. So we was like, "Okay, it's Lyme, T, you good." So then, you know, the doctor called us back. She said, "Yo, the doctor said I need to come down there ASAP."
Right.
I said, "Okay, bung." So me and my father, we went and grabbed him. We went down there. And the doctor Sabri, he said, "Listen," he said, he has amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
And we was like, yo, okay, what's that? So what's the deal with that? He said, well, it's terminal. And we said, what do you mean terminal? Yeah, like 2 years. 2 years. We was like, 2 years what? And we was like, yes, he told us like it was terminal. So we was like, yeah, we don't believe you, sucker MC, you fake doctor. You know what I mean? Yeah, you fake doctor. So we went like 5 other doctors. You know what I mean?
Second opinions and stuff.
Get fifth opinions and stuff like that. And it started becoming consistent. So we said, yo, you know what? Let's bring him to this hospital up in Hershey, PA. So we brought him because we went to the Bronx. We went all over, but we went to the hospital in Hershey, PA. That's the doctor. That's the hospital for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. And but we went in there. You know, me, TC, my father went in there. And it's like when you went in there, you start seeing people at all the different phases of it.
Yeah.
And like, even though TC at the time he wasn't really walking that good and stuff like that, but then we was like, whoa, this is on some real gangster Paul stuff right here.
Yeah.
So we was like, yo, this is real. So, and it just started progressing and progressing until he.
Yeah, I remember the day. I remember the day. He said, yo, Steve, I can't sing no more, man. Because it attacks all the muscles in your body. It attacked his muscles in his throat, and he was trying. I said, I can't sing no more.
Yeah,
it really hurted, man, because he. Like I said it on Unsung, like he had a medical book. Me and him sitting in the car, he's reading. He said, yo, I'm just looking at my symptoms. I can have this, called neuritis, this. And he's read, and this one's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. He said, if I got this, I could die in 2 years. And I looked at my brother's face, man, I hope that ain't the one you got, man. Yeah. And next thing you know, that's when the doctor says, that hurted so, it's still, he's with us spiritually. We know that. We know because Khalil sounds really so close to his voice. And my nephews, they both got beautiful falsetto voices. Yeah. And he told Khalil, when Khalil came back to the group, he says, yo, you got to hold it down, man. You gotta hold it down. Jesse's great, but Khalil sounds closer to TC, like when it comes to silky falsettos and stuff. You know? But he told Khalil, look, yo, you got to hold it down, man.
In 2000, the remaining members of Force M.Ds reformed and released the album, The Reunion, on Mad Love Records label, but it continued to lose members. Trisco Pearson passed away from cancer on September 16, 2016 in the Bronx, New York at the age of 53. Despite their loss, the band continues to perform. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from the Force M.Ds?